Okay. I've got 2 Gecko sticky dots on my Gecko gimmick right here, and I'm going to show you guys a basic coin vanish with a $50, and I will be showing you guys much cooler vanishes later on in the video. And it's gone. Now we're also going to talk about some clothing options we have here. Okay, clothing options. If you don't like wearing a hoodie, well, you can wear a nice little overshirt like this. The guys are making fun of my shirt, but that's okay, and I like it. So, all right, overshirt. Now, if you guys probably noticed, I'm wearing an O-ring and the stop ring O-ring on my shirt. We do not recommend putting this on such a light shirt like this, okay, as this is acting as your hoodie, okay. You want to put it here so they don't see the pull on this shirt, okay. Let me show you this. Now I'm going to undo my Gecko, bring it back around. Now the easiest way to unhook the Gecko is to, just the best possible way is bring it through and then take it through the clip portion here, rather than the Gecko gimmick. It's much more difficult to stretch that over, okay. All right, there we go. And this now is going to be put through this O-ring, just like this. This essentially now will go back around again, the same setup, right on the belt loop here, okay. And so here it is, ready to go. With, as you see how sticky those sticky dots are, and it hasn't left yet. So, and then you can put your overshirt on. This, I recommend rolling the sleeves up. Or if you have a short sleeve Hawaiian shirt, if it's really, really hot where you're at, like here in Sacramento, it gets really, really hot, I would probably never wear this. I'd maybe wear a short sleeve cover shirt just like this. So you're going to have the same deal here. Okay, pull it through. And again, it's ready to go, as you can see. And this is your cover clothing option for the Gecko. Okay, we're going to talk about customizing your Gecko gimmick. You can, I'm going to show you guys that depending on the person's hand style, you may be able to see the top edge of your Gecko. Okay. We also supplied you with a clear one. You may like that one better. Okay. Now what you want to do is the sandpaper that we provide you acts for 2 purposes. One has the grip on here. As you see that I have just cut out a little piece and it has sticky back to it. Okay, and I have it on both sides. Also, to make this top portion vanish, depending on, again, your hand type, we are going to sand it. I'm not going to do it on the video. It takes a little bit of time. You want to take a little bit of the top off, and you want to take the sandpaper and go up in an upward fashion to create, again, a little bit of an edge to it. Okay, you'll still be able to grip it with no problem whatsoever. Okay, but once you've sanded that down, this will virtually be completely invisible, not like this. Okay. All right. Now, right now, we're also going to talk about. We're going to go right into angles with the Gecko. All right. Now, I'm going to stick this $50 to it. All right. Now, it's very important if you're wearing a hoodie. All right, that you don't vanish anything from this direction. I'm right-handed, so I would never vanish anything this direction because you can see what it just happened there. It hit the zipper, it flashed, doesn't look good. Okay. Now, what you want to do is, depending on the object that you're vanishing, you may be able to vanish more completely straight on, but the best, if you're right-handed, way to do it, and if you're left, it's the opposite, is you do kind of want to have a slight lean forward, and this will open up for you usually just perfectly, okay? And I usually, like on a zipper portion, I kind of will bend this back If it's forward, you may hear a click sometimes, depending on, again, what you're vanishing. So this angle here, so that the gecko can go directly into your hoodie. And as you see how clean that was. Now when your arm's in the way, as you saw earlier, it looks like real magic. So again, once you are hooked up and you have this gecko sticky dots stuck to your object that you're vanishing, if it's in your hand, just let it go, like that. And it's gone. So being right-handed, this is your perfect angle. We're going to get into bigger objects later where you have to do a little bit more movement to cover larger objects. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to grip the gecko gimmick. Say that 4 times, I tell you. All right, thumb palm. For you people who do not know what a thumb palm is, this would be the thumb palm. Now this may suit you perfectly because it's really quite nice. Your hands look very empty, okay? But again, for larger, this is great for small objects because when you're doing that and you go to stick it and you let it go, okay, it's nice. The thumb palm's great. I don't recommend it for anything bigger because you don't want it to stick out on the side of your hand or anything like that. The next would be right here, the ring and middle finger. Or my favorite is the ring finger and middle finger. I said the ring finger and first finger, sorry. And then my favorite is this one here. I feel like I have a lot more control over vanishing objects with that. So this is the different grip methods. Thumb palm, first finger and middle finger, and then of course your ring finger and middle finger. Okay? That is gecko. And then also let's talk about wrist movement a little bit. If you're completely straight out, it's kind of interesting what you can do with this when you just bend your wrist ever so slightly to let it go. It's something that you need to play with. You can go completely straight out, and to let it go, a lot of times you have to give a slight bend to the wrist. Again, depending on the objects you're vanishing, you may have to give a complete vanish. And as you saw with that, it looks like I was just covering, if the coin was in my palm, and I was just covering it, okay, exposed view for you guys, as you can see. Okay, so experiment with wrists, movements, okay, and slight turns. And we'll get into that when we start showing different objects that we vanish. Alright guys, we are going to show you the first effect with your gecko. This is called change up. Approach your spectator that you've been performing for and ask them if they have any change. David, you got any change?
Yeah, I've got 11 cents.
He's got a whole 11 cents. That's not going to get him a soda. Let's see what we can do. So you got your 10 cents and your 1 penny. Yep. All right. Now, if you just give it a little shake like this, sounds like a little bit more than 11 cents to me. Here you go, David. I think you can get a soda now.
Wow.
All right, guys, we are now in the explanation portion. This is the explanation of change up. What you're going to need is 3/4 or $3.50 or whatever you want to use. Okay, we use 3/4 for this effect. And preferably change from a spectator.
This is all I have.
And this is all he had was 11 cents, so we used his 11 cents. Okay?
Yeah.
So I only recommend, 2 other coins, a small denomination. Dime, penny, nickel, dime, okay? Now, I just have this in Down's palm, Down's palm and a finger palm, and using, the Ramsey gesture so you can't see the coins, and you guys can reference that in books. So this is just in a finger palm, all 3 coins, just like this, and the middle finger and ring finger would curl over and hold all 3 coins naturally. Okay, and then now you have your gecko device ready, and I like to have it between my ring finger and middle finger, and you want to use 3 Gecko sticky dots for this. Very important. Maybe even 4 to cover the whole entire gimmick. Okay, because when you ask for the change from them, don't worry, nobody's going to see the change in your hand that you're actually finger palming. And once you ask for it, again, you're going to make a nice fist like this, and you're going to ask for each piece, and when you place it in your fist, let it kind of drop down, and you use your thumb to let it stick to the sticky dots. And then the next one, drop it in and let it feed down. And the reason you use that 3 sticky dots is so you have all that room for that to stick. Now once it's ready to go, I'm going to show you guys, you already saw it in the performance of how good it looked. Have these ready, and I'm going to show you the way it goes. Once it's there, you want to bring both hands together, but letting go of the gecko, and then showing the 3 coins.
Yeah. Andy, do you recommend more than 2 coins or just 2 coins?
Depending on your pattern, you can do 2 coins.
For the spectator, the change in your pocket. What if they pull out a handful of quarters, nickels, dimes, just like a ton of change? They're not broke like me.
Right. Well, if they, in my opinion, maybe you want to word it like, do you have any dimes and pennies, some small change on you? That might be better to do that. Okay? That's change up. All right, guys, we are now going to do the bottle cap restoration. You want to hand your spectator a bent bottle cap, ask them to inspect it, and if they were to actually bend that back themselves, it would be quite difficult to do without cutting themselves. Do me a favor, David, just place that right on top of my fist like that. Now if I give it just a little rub, just like this, I can actually restore it to its original state. That is bottle cap restoration. Alright guys, this is called the restoration of the bottle cap, and you need 2 bottle caps. One, of course, that is in perfect condition, and you want to take the other one and bend it. Pretty easy if you actually were to take one off, pop one off on top and just bend it over. Be very careful, please be very careful. You can cut yourself on bottle caps. No responsibility if you cut yourself, all right? So don't come and sue me. Thanks, appreciate it. All right, now the restored bottle cap will be classic palmed, and I will go over a basic classic palm right now. And bottle caps are great to classic palm because they actually have a nice grip. And to practice it, you want to put it about dead center of your palm for you beginners out there, and give it just a little squeeze, and then this is your classic palm. Okay, with a little bit of practice, you can hold it there, or even hold it with your ring finger if you ask them to place it. I actually do that. So place the bent bottle cap on the top of my hand, but you got to be able to grip it when you turn your hand over. Okay, you see the grip that I have here? Now, when you are hooked up with your gecko with fresh gecko sticky dots, okay, you have this classic palmed, this, and then you approach your spectator and have them look at this bent bottle cap. And you say, would you please inspect that? Is that really bent?
Yeah, it's bent.
Yeah. Now, if you were to bend that, they would cut themselves, correct? Yes, please don't bend it back. You may cut your thumbs. Now, I want to show you something really quite unbelievable here. Do me a favor, just put it right on top of my fist right there. And then you want to ask them to place the sharp ends down, because when you go to stick the gecko to it, just like this, you want that smooth surface. When we've tried it with this side, and it just doesn't really work that well. Okay? And so once you're here, again, for this particular varnish, I like it between the ring finger and middle. And so once it's here, and I have it classic palmed again, the restored one, I literally rub it like this, okay? And then I let it go as I turn my hand over, and covering, of course, the restored one, and give it a moment and show them that it has restored. That is bottle cap restoration. right, guys, this is called the signature dollar bill. I'm going to ask your spectator, David. Hey, can I borrow a dollar? Great, you got one. All right, and you want to ask them to fold it in half. Do me a favor, David, fold it in half. Go ahead and fold it in half again, and fold down towards you, and fold the dollar bill in a nice little fold, just like that. And I am going to give you a unique business card, and meaning that I am going to take the dollar and actually sign it. I'm actually signing the dollar bill, and you give this back to them, and once you give it back to them, is